The tech chap should be ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not with a curved TV.
That's great. That's the slogan right there.
I think the future of TV is going to be far more democratic.
Democratic?
Than it is now. Yep, democratic.
I didn't expect that word.
Well, there we go. It's been ruminating in my head ever since you first asked me that question, which is just now.
Yeah.
Never heard it before.
Okay. There's no prep for this.
No. So I think the kind of the advent of Netflix and Amazon, rather than maybe taking away from broadcast TV completely, will give some healthy competition.
Okay.
Make broadcast TV from providers like the BBC, ITV, Sky, more, well, hopefully of a higher quality. You've also got stuff like this, feeding in from YouTube, finding an audience.
On demand.
On demand.
You can watch this anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, which, you know, has its advantages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it will mean that people get to see what it is they want to see a lot more, because people can find what they're looking for a lot more easily, and you don't just have to sit and watch a repeat of Lovejoy. You can go and watch something
Lovejoy.
else.
Ian McShane is amazing.
He's great. People will go to on demand first sometimes, but I think there will always be programmes that people want to see that are being made by broadcast channels that you can only see for the first time at a certain time when they're being broadcast. Like, for example, let's talk about Great British Bake Off. So you can't watch Great British Bake Off before 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night. If you want to watch it on something that isn't a TV or on live stream on your laptop or whichever device you're using, the only time you can watch it is 8 o'clock. After that, you've got to wait until a bit later. So I also think that there's an aspect of community about it. So
that's true. Everyone's tweeting at the same time about it.
There's that whole feeling part of it, using hashtags, having a discussion, and I think that will be a lot more difficult if people are watching things disparately at different times.
Kids will no longer growing up talking about last night's TV in the playground. That's true. How sad would that be?
That would be sad.
But the thing is, you will pay 145 quid a year for a TV licence, or you could wait an hour and watch it on iPlayer an hour after Bake Off.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Is it still worth watching it at 8? Can you wait a couple hours and you can watch it for
can't.
free? No, you can't. That's true. Most people can't. Well, that's true. A lot of people can't. If it's the next Game of Thrones, people won't want to wait a couple hours.
Exactly. Even if that means accessing it in ways that are not necessarily above board. No. So I think that just goes to show how much people... I think that having that exclusivity is something that hopefully broadcasters will keep hold of and understand the power of that. But it's a good point, and I think that is one of the reasons why there's a lot of talk about the BBC being changed in the way that it's charged for, the way that it's funded, and I think that's kind of a dangerous thing, because I really like that the BBC doesn't have to rely on money from advertisers, that it gets that public investment, because it means, like I say, they don't have to rely on keeping on the right side of the advertisers, so they can make potentially braver choices. So I feel very strongly about the BBC staying funded as it is, but whether people agree with me, I don't know.
Well, that's true, but also what about, say, Top Gear? BBC have lost Top Gear, Amazon's bought them for, I think they're saying it's going to be 160 million for the first few seasons. So that's something that was broadcast and is now exclusive on demand.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and I like that there's that option out there, because like I said before, it's a more democratic way of doing it. So the BBC can't continue to make that programme in its current form for various reasons, including Jeremy Clarkson being an awful person in my opinion, but we can talk about that another time. And I think that having that option for Amazon Prime to take it on, they don't have to worry about any of that. They know there's going to be a big audience for it. And they actually did a similar thing with Ripper Street. So Ripper Street got cancelled and they took it on, made another series. And that actually got shown, it's being shown on the BBC right now. So BBC didn't want to make it,
nice.
but somebody else did. Yeah.
All right. So how do you watch things? Do you tend to watch them just on the TV, on your laptop, tablet, stream it?
I do still watch broadcast TV on a television, which I have in my room.
How traditional, how old school.
Oh, I know. And we've got one in my flat. We've got one in the living room as well, which actually we watch things on pretty regularly. But yeah, I use a Chromecast most of the time. Awesome. So I have the app on my iPhone, and well, not the app, but you have like your Netflix app.
You can throw it out to it.
Yeah, basically. And it's not perfect. Sometimes it depends on the Wi-Fi connection.
It does, yeah.
Because also my iPhone's pretty old. It's a 4S, so I need to get a new one.
Coming on Tea and Tech with an iPhone 4S.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to get a 6 really soon. I promise. So yeah, it's good and really simple. And if there's nothing on TV, or if I just want to watch something on Netflix instead, it's great to have that choice. The only thing with the Chromecast is I also have like an Amazon Prime membership, and because of the differences between the companies and not wanting to,
it doesn't all work.
But
then if you have a smart TV, they can usually have the apps for them.
That would be the ideal.
It would. Well, I'm not sure what the future is then if all those little Amazon Fire Sticks and Chromecast. Once you on Apple TVs, once you do have a smart TV. Yeah,
I think really like streaming sticks are going to be they're going to be like the interim.
Yeah,
I
think agree.
As soon as
until when smart TV prices come down and it's the standard, people won't need little plug-in things. So I have an Apple TV, but I never use it, and it doesn't even do things like streaming from my laptop, my MacBook, to the TV, as well as a similar app with the Chromecast does. But one thing I'm excited for is that the rumours are that iOS 9 will be put on the Apple TV.
Okay.
Because we haven't had an Apple TV update since about 2012 or 13.
Whoa. It's about time then.
It's about time. And people keep wanting a full-on Apple TV. Right. But I reckon, and the rumours are saying at the moment, although hopefully we'll find out more next month at the Apple conference in September, that they're going to put iOS 9 on Apple TVs.
Okay.
Which basically will mean that your TV becomes... It's just another smart box that plugs into it.
Yeah.
But if you have access to things like FaceTime and Siri, if you've got a webcam on your TV, all the apps, I think that'd be pretty cool.
That is a great idea.
And that's basically how you get an iPad or iPhone onto a TV.
Yeah.
What's your opinion overall on these boxes, on these Roku boxes and Apple TVs and Chromecasts?
Well, I like them because I use one very often, and I think that they give you an extra choice for what to watch, and they make it really easy to do that.
But they make the on-demand stuff easy.
Yeah.
They
don't.
They are another way of getting rid of broadcast TV.
I know, but this is it. I'm not saying that that on-demand TV is not going to be really big and maybe even occupy a similar or bigger part of the television market.
Well, with the money we're seeing with the Top Gear
TV.
deal, it's going that way.
Yeah, but I don't think that will spell the end for broadcast TV. I think it's maybe, or in my head, I'm hoping it's similar to how television and radio sit next to each other.
I like that. Yeah. Because people 50 years ago, 70 years ago would have said, well, what's the point in radio?
Exactly. It's got pictures now.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I also think that our generation, maybe we're the last generation to have broadcast TV in the way it is now.
Could be.
But we've still got a few years left.
Yeah.
And people who are older than us, people are living longer.
That's true.
I think there's still a good 50 to 100 years. There's a number I've plucked out of the sky.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
For broadcast
for normal TV, for finding nothing on.
In a way of, like, in a similar sense to how we have it now.
I agree. What's your thoughts on, well, I think we know everyone's thoughts on 3D TVs these days.
Do we?
Well, I think it's...
What are your thoughts on 3D TVs?
I think it's a bit dead.
Yeah.
I think all my TVs are 3D TVs, but I never use it, ever.
Really? Well, what I've never understood about 3D TVs is how much 3D content is there for you to watch.
Not a lot. Although I think you can technically upscale to stereoscopic 3D, but it doesn't work very well.
That never looks as good.
I think unless you have a massive 55-inch plus TV in a really dark room with a very expensive TV and a very nice looking Blu-ray Pixar movie, I think, except for those situations, it's a bit disappointing. And putting glasses on and having lots of people with glasses on is a bit silly.
Yeah.
People can't be asked.
There's a lot of wearable technology, obviously, and I just think this is a bit of a sidetrack, but unless it looks good, or at least doesn't make you look really stupid, I think stuff like that's going to take a while.
There is some technology where I think it's auto stereoscopic 3D, which doesn't require glasses. Okay. Would you be interested in that?
Yeah, Yeah, but I still don't think it would catch on necessarily. Yeah, I think it is a gimmick. I think it's the same with film, really. That
film's a gimmick.
Not film, 3D film.
Oh, I see. Right.
But yeah, I think that's not. I've never wanted to watch EastEnders in 3D. No. I don't know about you. I don't know if that's something that you can do. But there's not a lot of stuff on TV that I would literally run away from it.
Yeah, so it will be more of a movie thing anyway. Yeah. So what about curved TVs? They're the 2015 3D.
Yes, I think they are gimmick. The 2015 TV gimmick because
it's a tagline.
Everything that they can use that to sell them. I think everything that I've read about them and seen about them is that you can't really get any benefit from them unless they're absolutely huge, and even then it's not that big a deal.
I feel sorry for anyone who's sitting to the side.
Exactly. All you can see is like one half.
Yeah.
So I don't really see the point in them.
But the problem I'm finding is that sometimes I look at just to browse the top end TVs after CES in January and see what the new TVs are of each year, and all the top end ones with the highest spec, the highest model, the best features usually come with 3D. Sorry, not 3D, curved displays. And I don't want that. And so if you want one that's just a standard flat panel, usually you have to go for a slightly lower model. Oh. So they're sort of shoving it down your throats a little bit.
Well, let's hope they stop doing that.
I hope
so. Also, like, how if you wanted to mount a 3D, a curved TV, does that present some problems?
Well,
because walls are generally flat.
Yeah.
So
lighthouse TVs.
Yeah. Well, this is where the only curved TVs that are going to be in the country in 50 years' time are going to be in lighthouses. That's my prediction. Second prediction of the day.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to this in 50 years' time.
Yeah. Okay. When we're old.
Truth of. All right. How about 4K? You got any thoughts on 4K? The next step up in resolution?
Yeah, I think 4K. I've got no problem with that. It's gonna. What I like is that it doesn't bother me in any way. It's cool. Whatever. You can have as many Ks as you want. Weren't they gonna do something in like 8K?
Yeah, I think Japan's still messing with that.
So
YouTube even you can put 8K video on YouTube.
Wow.
I don't know where I can find an 8K camera.
Can we make this 8? Oh, so we can't make this 8K. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's rubbish little tiny thing. It's not even 4K. This. I'm sorry, everyone. We're living in the past here. The tech chap should be ahead of the curve.
Yeah. But not with the curved TV.
That's great. That's a slogan right there. Do you buy discs? Do you buy DVDs? Do you buy Blu-rays?
Not very often.
No.
I actually don't have a Blu-ray player, which I feel really bad about. I know.
You don't even have a PlayStation?
I only have a PlayStation 2.
Right, we could try that.
I play Crazy Taxi on.
Well, I can't fault you at all for that.
Thank you.
Actually, no, that's fine.
And I tend to... I'm not a big gamer. I tend to just play games on my iPad. So, if I was going to buy anything, it would be DVDs. And I don't buy very many of those anymore. It was kind of like when I first signed up for Netflix. I said,
nope,
I'll do this and I won't buy DVDs anymore. I'll wait for it to be on Netflix or I won't watch it.
That's what a lot of people do. That's what I do. I used to collect Blu-rays. As I say collect them, I used to buy the one I liked when it came out. Because I just liked seeing a row of movies with a little blue. And it was a silly thing, but it kind of... Like, Blu-ray it always looked so good. He was always looking forward to how the next film would look on it. Like when The Dark Knight came out, I remember thinking, well, I want to get that on Blu-ray, make sure it looks great. But now I'll just watch it on Netflix or Amazon, and Blu-rays are about £15 in the UK. I'm not sure, I guess they're probably $20-25 in the US. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
And I have a few. They never get watched now.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them a few times.
If you have a film on Blu-ray and it's on Netflix, would you just watch it on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because even though the compression will make the quality slightly lower on Netflix, it's just there.
Yeah.
It doesn't require.
You don't have to move.
It's about 4 seconds saving.
And those are vital seconds.
They are, and sometimes Netflix crops movies so they get a full screen one rather than a letterbox, which on the one hand cuts I think a little bit off the movie, but it makes the picture full screen, which I actually prefer. Yeah. So no, if it's on Netflix, which a lot of them are, I will just watch it there.
Yeah.
So it absolutely completely defeats the purpose of having Blu-ray, unless you're a video file enthusiast.
And I think there will be that kind of niche market like there is for vinyl now. There'll be people who are collecting. I don't know. Do people collect VHS? No.
Not yet.
No, but maybe one day.
Betamax maybe.
But then VHS is like a really inferior format, whereas people like vinyl because it's
got a different sound to it.
Yeah. So why would you watch a DVD instead of watching something in HD? I don't know.
You're right.
Maybe there won't be. But there's something about having that physical product that people do like, which is kind of lost with streaming.
I agree. But for me, not enough people care about HD. I care about HD because I like technology and I guess you do to an extent. You like your EastEnders and Coronation Street to be as crisp as possible.
Absolutely. I want to see those expressions.
Just like we have say Freeview HD on most TVs in the UK, and BBC One is channel 1. But BBC One HD is channel 101.
Yeah.
And most people, 99% of people, will just leave it on 1.
Yeah.
I'll grab the remote and turn it to 101 because I want slightly, I want an HD image. It's a silly thing, but people say, why do you bother doing that? So
yeah, I can see why you would.
Well, you can see why I would. That's why you're on TNT with me.
Exactly.
We can agree on that.
Yeah.
But the rest of the people out
they don't know what they're talking about.
They don't care enough about HD. So that, and the jump from standard def to HD was much bigger than HD to 4K.
Yeah.
So if people still can't be bothered to change the channel to get a HD picture, then I'm not sure many people will spend thousands on 4K TVs and 4K Blu-rays.
Yeah, but there's got to be a catch-up at some point.
That's true.
So
there is always a catch-up.
BBC One will just become BBC One HD, I'm guessing.
I hope so.
Instead of having to go to 101. That's an extra, 2 numbers you've got to put in the remote. Or just hours of scrolling.
I don't know how we manage.
No, it's very hard. So, I don't know, I think it's a change that will happen and people won't realise has happened.
You're right. And they'll just... sorry, I think we just had...
That was thunder.
That was thunder. That was weird. Okay, yeah, so it was just happen. People will be forced to have HD.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We both will.
Well, I think we've summed it up. You still think broadcast TV has a future?
I do. But in tandem with streaming, and it will hopefully force all of the television produced to be even better than it is now.
Competition.
Yeah.
And I like your analogy of TV and radio.
Thank you. I hope that it is one that comes true.
Hopefully it will make the cut.
Let's hope so now.
Well, Alex, thank you very much for coming on Tea and Tech.
Thank you for having me. It's been brilliant. Yeah.
And hopefully we'll come on again.
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.